Hello, friends. In the series of learning computer organization and design, today we are going to focus on virtual memory. So, here is the entire agenda of this chapter. We are learning the chapter of memory organization, and in this chapter, we have one on one sessions on all these topics that are mentioned here. And today, we are focusing on the virtual memory. So the link to all these topics are already been provided in the description box. So you can get to know about these topics in detail, right? So today what we are going to learn is in this particular session, we will learn about what is the virtual memory, okay? And then we will learn that how the virtual memory is different from that of the main memory, and then we will learn certain mapping procedures that how the address which has been given in the virtual memory can be mapped into the main memory. So this is the entire agenda of today's session. So let's begin with understanding the virtual memory in more detail. So here is the very first concept. What is a virtual memory? So as the name simplifies, virtual means which is not existing in reality, which is simply an illusion, right? So what kind of memory is a virtual memory and why do we require such kind of virtual memory within the machine? So we will learn in detail about that, but before that let's discuss about the definition part of this particular memory. So, virtual memory is simply a memory which gives the programmer an illusion. Illusion means it's not realistic in nature, it is just existing in a logical form. That the system has a very large memory available, right? Even though the computer actually has a relative small main memory. So, this is the concept of using the virtual memory. So usually what happens is that when we are dealing with the virtual memory, we deal with two aspects. One is the logical address and another is the physical address. It is very important to understand that what is a logical address and how does it differ from the physical address. So basically, the address used by the programmer will be called as a logical address. Now, why do a programmer will use a logical address? What is the reason behind that? Simply because for the programmer or for the user, the available memory is very high, very large. You could say that. Let's suppose the available memory is, let's suppose, existing in 1 GB. Okay. But what is happening is that according to this 1 GB memory, the program will send an instruction, okay, or the program, or it will simply instruct the machine. So within the instruction, as per this space of 1 GB, we will be allocated with the address value, right? So that address is called as the logical address. And then there comes the physical address. So physical address basically deals with the main memory, like within the main memory. Now exactly it is not 1 GB available. I could say that 0.75 GB or 0.60 GB is available only within the main memory. Okay, so according to this much of data, some address value, the address value of this main memory will differ from that of the logical address. So this address of the main memory, or the address in the main memory, you could say, is called as the physical address, which we will be addressing. So overall, this is in the nutshell what we have got. So usually address or the space or the logical is also known as logical. Address space is basically being defined by the programmer, and the memory space is basically the actual space which is available, physical or the actual space you could say of the main memory. So address space is a virtual address, also called as the logical address. Memory space is a physical address. So what we need to do, as I'm saying, the programmer has generated the instruction as per this 1 GB of memory available. But exactly it was not the same data, same storage space which was available in the main memory. So what happened? What we need to do is The instruction has already been created in the form of a virtual address or logical address. We need to map this logical address so that the actual physical address of main memory can be generated, and the whatever the data which has been set by the user can be given back to the programmer. So this is what is the basic purpose. So the idea is that we are going to map this virtual address with the physical address so that the actual instruction can be processed. So this is what is the point that we are going to discuss now in the next coming slides. So overall, I told you that virtual memory is simply an illusion, right? So we understand two aspects. There is a logical address, there is a physical address. Logical address is basically the also called as the address space or the virtual address. The physical address is also called as, or it exists in the memory space, and it is totally related to the main memory. So what happens is that whenever the concept of virtual memory is used, we always need a mapping procedure. We need to map the data of the logical address into the physical address. So now we are going to focus on these mapping techniques or the procedures that we are using in this virtual memory. So here is a full-fledged concept. I have directly provided a diagrammatical representation here. So the idea is that we are simply doing the address mapping here. We have to map the virtual address with the physical address. So what is the procedure we are using? That procedure we will call it as the memory mapping table. Okay, so this is the procedure. We need a mapping table so that this virtual address can be transferred into the physical address. So let's understand how this entire thing happens. So here I have just provided you a diagrammatical representation. Later in the next slide, I will take one example and I will show you how this entire virtual address is getting shifted into the main memory's address. Okay. So the process actually starts from here. We will get a virtual address which is definitely of consisting of higher number of bits. So that virtual address here in this example is of 20 bits. So that virtual address once been generated will be shifted into the virtual address register. Okay, so definitely there is an address, so it must be stored in some register. We are calling that register the virtual address register. Now what happens? Our procedure is we simply want to map the data. So how we will proceed that? In the third step, which is important and crucial step, we will be using a memory mapping table. Means certain procedure we will apply so that the entire this virtual address can be shuffled into the main memory's address. See, this is the virtual address consisting of 20 bits. So I'm writing here, but the physical memory's address is only consisting of 15 bits. So there is a difference of 5 bits. So how that difference of 5 bits to be maintained? That difference will be maintained using a procedure, okay, here in this memory mapping table. So once using that procedure, I have got the data back. So what I will do, I will simply place that data, the output of this particular memory mapping table into the memory table's buffer register. So this is the next step. After taking the data here, it means now my job is done actually. So the data that I have taken as a resultant in this memory table is now been placed in this main memory's address register. Okay, so definitely this will be of 15 bits. So we are placing it here, and then once I got the main memory's address, so then the things will become very simple. Now what I need to do is I will simply go into the main memory, will look for that particular address, and at that particular address I will look for the data which is available here, and will pick that data value and store it in the main memory's buffer register. So this is how entirely the address mapping procedure happens. So the only basic point was the memory mapping table. So we will learn that how the memory mapping table actually works just in the next slide, where I will take one example. So now let's understand about this entire mapping procedure by considering one example. So here I have taken a scenario. Usually what's happened is the address space, means which is the virtual one, is usually consisting of data which is stored in the form of pages. Okay, and the data which is stored in the memory, we are considering that that data is stored in the form of blocks. So this is what the point is. So the address space here, what is the size of address space we have taken? We have taken the 8K address space. So 1K is the word group. So please understand this entire terminology here. I am considering that one page is equals to 1K word groups. Words means this page 0 is consisting of 1000 words, a group of 1000 words into it. So that there are total 8 pages. K stands for 1024, right? So 8K are the total number of that is the total size of this virtual address space which has been allocated to the programmer. So accordingly, I need 13 bits address. Virtual address is required to store the data in this particular address space. Got it? So this is the first aspect. What we have done in the address space or in the virtual address space, we have stored the data in the form of pages, and we have taken total 7 pages. Each page is consisting of words of 1K number of words. Then switching to the memory space means the main memory. What is happening here? I have taken the data in the form of blocks. Okay, so there are total 4 blocks. So it is now very well understood that one block is consisting of 1024. Actual 1K means this 1024 words. So this is the size of the word that the word size that each block is consisting of. So this is just the reference that in the virtual addresses we are usually considering the data which is stored in the form of pages, and in the main memory the data is usually considered or stored in the form of blocks. Uh, the reason why we are using the concept of paging and blocks is just beyond the topic. So for the time being, you just need to understand only these 2 points. So what was the sole purpose? Actually, why I was teaching you all this scenario was because I have to told you that this is the size of the address space and this is the size of the memory space. Okay. So in case of virtual memory, I need 13 bits address just because 2 raised per 13 are the is accommodating the total size. Similarly, in the case of main memory, I need a physical address which is consisting of 12 bits. Okay, so it means a 13-bit address, virtual address, need to be mapped into the 12 bits address somehow using some memory in the memory mapping table. I have to apply certain mapping procedure so that one bit from the virtual memory can be eliminated by using certain means, right? And it should be then it should be able to provide me the physical address value. So let us understand how this entire thing will happen. So here is one example that I have taken. The same scenario is the same. I am using a 13-bit virtual address. This was the first step. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These are the 10 words totally, 10 digits, you could say that, 10 bits. And plus 3 belongs to 13, right? So total virtual address is of size 13 bits, as per the example which I was explaining you earlier. Now, from the virtual address, this is a virtual address register actually. The data is placed in the virtual address register. Now, from this particular register, the data will be shifted into the memory mapping table. Okay, so this is the memory mapping table. what we are having is the size of this table is 0 to 7, right? Means it is consisting of 8 data values. And in within this memory mapping table, what we are having is we have stored certain 2-digit values. See, this is a block 0. I could say it is representing the 0th value, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 1, 1. So all this data has been placed here, and these are the presence bits. Means if the value is 1 here, only then it means that the data, the corresponding block value is available. If the value is 0 and I am putting some data here, like anything like this, so it means these values cannot be considered. Only the presence bit is depicting that the data is present. So otherwise, if it is 0, it means the data would also not be available here. Okay, so this is what the point is. So now, if you can see here, this virtual address has actually been segmented into two forms: page number and the line number. So we have to work on the page number, because we know that the virtual memory's address mapping procedure is using the concept of page numbers. And when we talk about the main memory, it is consisting of the concept of the blocks. So it will further help me in clarifying the more idea, right? So what I did, I have written all the page values from 000 to 111, and in between I have provided the block number. So you can see that the page number is 101. This page number I need to refer. So if I am referring this page number here, so what is the value present available here? So at this page number, the value available is 01, and the presence bit is also 1. So it means this particular value I need to take now and to be placed in the, this is the second step, this is the third, memory mapping buffer. Okay, so this value has been taken here. Its bit was present also, so the status have also been taken. So this entire value has been taken from this memory page table, and now it has been stored in the buffer. So what will happen now? What I got, so this line number, this 10 bits, these will remain the same here, and now this particular value is consisting of the block number here, which I need to refer. So you can now see that these are the 10 bits plus 2. Now this is a 12 bits data, right? Before it was 13-bit data. Now it has been changed into the 12 bits. So 01 is belonging to this block number 1. So definitely at this block number 1, at this line I need to go, because there are 1000 words been stored in each block. So accordingly, whatever the data is available at this particular address, I will pick and I will store in this memory buffer register. So this is the entire idea of how the mapping procedure takes place. So this particular concept is actually this diagram only. So we are having a virtual address register, right? Then we will use a mapping procedure. Whatever the outcome of this mapping procedure is, we will store it here. Then the main memory's address will be generated, and accordingly we will start fetching the data in the main memory. And lastly, the main memory's buffer register will consist of the required data. So this was just being shown with some example. So overall, this is the basic concept, that how the mapping of data takes place from the virtual memory to the physical memory. That is the important point to understand. So the another thing, this is just the conclusion slide. So we have seen that the virtual memory is storing the data in the form of pages, where each and every page is consisting of some group of words. Okay, and we are using some memory mapping procedure to map the data from this virtual memory into the physical memory's data. So once we got the physical memory address, we can easily get the data, and we can easily get to know at which particular block we need to refer, and under the block, under which particular line we need to go to figure out the exact data. So with this, students, I hope that you are able to understand the concept thoroughly. about what is virtual memory and how does the virtual memory works. Thank you so much for joining this session. Thank you, students.